In case you don't know, Senegal has qualified for the 2026 World Cup, which, to be honest, is not a big surprise. Senegal is one of the best African teams in football. Senegal is very talented, very skillful, and they have qualified for this up and coming 2026 World Cup, which will be held in North America. This up and coming World Cup is going to be in United States, Canada, and Mexico. And I can't wait for it. I've been waiting. I always root for the African teams in the World Cup. So I'm hoping Africa can finally pull off a World Cup victory, But hey, I'm just here, to watch some good football and soccer, So yeah, Senegal defeated Mauritania 4-0, and that Senegal's win over Mauritania, clinched their World Cup bid, So after Senegal won that game, they qualified for the World Cup. And 4-0, wow, that's Senegal, played well against Mauritania, obviously, if they won 4-0. And Sadio Mane, he scored 2 goals, which is not a surprise. Sadio Mane is considered to be, the star player for Senegal. Sadio Mane, he played for Liverpool. In case you don't know, Liverpool is one of the top teams in the English Premier League, one of the most competitive leagues in the world for football and soccer, the Premier League. And Sadio Mane played for one of the top teams in the world, Liverpool, and he was a star player for Liverpool for years. So everyone who watches football, soccer knows who Sadio Mane is. He's a talented, skillful player. So he scored 2 goals against Mauritania. Iliman Ndiaye. I'm probably pronouncing his name slightly incorrectly, but Iliman Ndiaye, he scored a goal, and Habib Diallo, he scored a goal as well. And yes, Sadio Mane is not the only good player for Senegal. Senegal is a talented team collectively. Senegal has several players that are talented, just as talented as Sadio Mane. Even arguably, Senegal has several more players that arguably might even be more talented and skillful than Sadio Mane. But I'm not here really to talk about that. But Iliman Ndiaye, he plays for Everton in the Premier League. Quality player. Ndiaye is a quality player, man. Let's look him up right here. Ndiaye. Yeah, Ndiaye is true. He's good. He's a good player. He might not put up the best stats on paper, but he's a quality player. He's very skillful. He can keep ball possession. Ndiaye can pass the ball accurately. He's fast. He's not extremely fast, but he has quickness to move the ball up the field. And he played for Senegal the last World Cup. He played well last World Cup, but Ndiaye, he has the ability to score goals. He scored a goal against Mauritania several times when I've watched Senegal. Ndiaye has, been a playmaker. You know, he has gotten a few assists that I've seen when he's has played for Senegal. So Ndiaye, he can defend. He's an all around player, and he can be used in multiple positions. Senegal should use Ndiaye to his full potential. Ndiaye can be used as a playmaking midfielder. He can be used as a defensive midfielder. He can be put in as a defender. He can defend. He can get tackles. Ndiaye can be used, as a winger. Most of the time when I see Ndiaye playing for Senegal, he's, in that winger position. So he's a very diverse player. Man, the goal that Ndiaye had against Mauritania in the World Cup qualifications was just amazing. Was fucking amazing, man. Ndiaye against Mauritania in the World Cup qualification, their last match in the World Cup qualifications, Ndiaye like out dribbled 4 defenders for like a third of the field, and he scored right in front of the goalpost. So Ndiaye, he has the ability to keep ball possession. He's extremely skilled, man. He out dribbled like 4 defenders on some Lionel Messi shit, man. Like the play he did, the lead up to his goal, like that ball possession, him just out dribbling 4 players, 4 defenders. That's the type of talent, the type of skill of play that Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, has. Very skillful Ndiaye. And Habib Diallo. Let's research him, Habib Diallo. Here he goes right here. Habib Diallo, he scored against Mauritania. He plays as a forward in French League One, Metz. 6'1". He's tall, man. So he has the long legs, to have the speed to run up the field. Senegal needs those tall players who have long legs, who are fast, to, to run that ball up the field, counterattacks and things of that nature. I mean, he's not a superstar player, but he can score, obviously. In his international career with Senegal, he's had scored 7 goals. So that tells you that, he has the capability, if needed, to put that ball in the net to score, man. So Senegal needs more playmakers, more scorers, and yes, they have a talented team, and all these players in Senegal are very talented and skillful. And Senegal also has more key players. Let's look at their full lineup that played against Mauritania. See, Senegal topped the group. That's why, of course, they qualified for the World Cup, because they topped their group. They were in Group B, and in their group, they had DR Congo, Sudan, Togo, Mauritania, and South Sudan. Man, South Sudan didn't win any games in Group B. Wow. Mauritania struggled too. Mauritania is not a bad team though. Like people, a lot of people might underestimate African football, African soccer, but African football is very competitive. African football is very competitive. I don't know, a lot of you guys don't watch African football. You guys just watch European and South American teams, or you guys probably only watch the Premier League, La Liga, European club football. But nah, the soccer football is international now. There's quality teams all across the globe. I mean, last World Cup, we seen a North African team, Morocco, get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, 2022 World Cup. Man, soccer is advancing all across the globe, and not only the European and South American nations play at a high level nowadays. There's even in Asia, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, they play quality football. So, man, don't underestimate Africa in football. Man, respect Africa in football. But they can, man, they have a lot of good players. DR Congo is good, man. I was kind of rooting for DR Congo, man. So, but DR Congo, since they got second, they they got second in the Group B behind Senegal. So DR Congo actually has qualified for the World Cup, African World Cup playoffs. So DR Congo is still, can still potentially qualify for the World Cup, but they have to play, in the playoffs, to get that last playoff spot, to get that last, to get that last World Cup spot. Potentially, DR Congo is in that position. DR Congo, DR Congo's game against Senegal in this Group B was a draw. DR Congo was the only team in this group that Senegal could not beat. So DR Congo, I've watched DR Congo play, they're a quality team. They have a very energetic attack. They're upbeat team. They like to attack. They're very offensive. DR Congo, can pass the ball accurately. They can score long shots, long range shots. And DR Congo is a quality team. That's why, Senegal struggled against DR Congo. They drew 1-1. So, DR Congo, man, hey, DR Congo qualifies in the World Cup over Nigeria. Hey, I wouldn't be too upset. But hopefully Nigeria does qualify. I'm Nigerian, so I'm rooting for the Super Eagles. But in the World Cup playoffs, in the playoffs to qualify for the World Cup, I think DR Congo has to play against Nigeria. And if Nigeria, man, that's going to be a good game. Nigeria versus DR Congo. That's going to be a very entertaining match. So I would look forward to watching that one. Yeah, man, Senegal did not lose. They drew 3 times, but Senegal did not lose in this World Cup qualification Group B. They ended up with 24 points. Yeah, Senegal, they're African giant in soccer and football, so it's not a huge surprise. This is the same Senegal who beat England in a friendly a few months ago. England is the birthplace of football and soccer. So that tells you England is one of the best soccer teams across in the world. And Senegal beat them in a friendly recently. And that's the first time in history England has lost to an African team. So that win is monumental and historic, and that win has given Senegal a lot of confidence going into this World Cup. That friendly win over England. I watched that match live, so yeah, man. And Senegal is a very talented team, so hey, they can beat. Senegal has the potential, the talent, the skill to defeat any team in the world, man. So I know they're going to give their all in this up and coming 2026 World Cup, and I'm rooting for Senegal. I'm going to be watching them this World Cup. Man, last World Cup, last World Cup, 2022 World Cup, Sadio Mane got injured right before the tournament, like a month before the tournament, month or two before the tournament. I remember it was right before the tournament, and Sadio Mane got injured, and he could not play last World Cup. Sadio Mane, and Sadio Mane was the key player, the star player for Senegal last World Cup, and he wasn't able to play in the tournament, and that was a huge loss for Senegal, man. If Senegal had Sadio Mane for the World Cup, last World Cup, oh man, Senegal would have did great things with Sadio Mane. They could have won the World Cup potentially with Sadio Mane. I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking high, but hey, I know Senegal is that caliber of team that they could at least went to the quarterfinals like Morocco last World Cup if Sadio Mane was there to lead them. Even last World Cup, even without Sadio Mane, Senegal still plays quality soccer without Sadio Mane last 2022 World Cup. And Senegal, without Sadio Mane last World Cup, defeated, quality team like Ecuador. And Senegal last World Cup, even without Sadio Mane, they went to the second round of the World Cup. Even without Sadio Mane. So Senegal, man, like I said, they're a well-rounded team. They have a lot of multiple players that can play at a high level. So even if worst case scenario, Sadio Mane is not available for this World Cup, they have players who can replace Sadio Mane and play at a high level, just like Sadio Mane. So Senegal, man, they have other players like Ndiaye, Diallo, Koulibaly, who can lead Senegal. And, so it's not only Sadio Mane who plays at a high level for Senegal. So let's see their lineup. Man, they used a 4-2-3-1. Senegal used a 4-2-3-1 against Mauritania. I'm not big on the 4-2-3-1 with African teams. Most of the time, on most occasions, when African teams use the 4-2-3-1, they play horribly. 4-2-3-1 doesn't really offer spacing. And African football is based off of like having good spacing, to pass that ball up and down the field. African football, stereotypically, African football is more attack, offensive oriented. So when you're playing offensively, you need space between players to pass the ball comfortably up and down, up the field. And 4-2-3-1 doesn't offer that spacing for African players, to create those long passes up the field. 4-2-3-1 is really a compact formation that allows for short passes. And that's why when I was watching Senegal play against Mauritania, it was not a beautiful game. Senegal was not playing a beautiful game against Mauritania. It was kind of Senegal, especially in that first half against Mauritania, was kind of playing an ugly game. Some of their passes were inaccurate. They were kind of having trouble keeping ball possession the first half against Mauritania. And that was because they were using the 4-2-3-1 formation. African teams should not use that formation. African teams should more use the 3-5-2, 4-4-2. African teams should always have two strikers in front, going in that attack, two strikers in front. That's the best, formations to use with African teams. But hey, Senegal still found a way to score 4 goals against Mauritania. And Mauritania is not a bad team. Mauritania is not a bad team at all. They were giving, Senegal's a good competition that first half. So yes. Man, Senegal has some good players, man. Nicholas Jackson, he's quality. Nicholas Jackson. Let's research him. Nicholas Jackson. He's a striker for Senegal and his club team. He just got traded to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is the best team in the German league, Bundesliga. Bayern Munich is the top team historically for Bundesliga. So Nicholas Jackson is playing in competitive. Was playing like very competitively in Europe. He's playing for the best of the best. A few months ago, for like a year or two, Nicholas Jackson, he was playing for the most popular Premier League team, Chelsea. Chelsea's one of the most, well-known Premier League teams. Chelsea is, one of the best teams in the world. Chelsea and Bayern Munich are some of the best teams in the world, in soccer. So Nicholas Jackson has the know-how, has the experience of playing at the highest level. So when Nicholas Jackson comes and plays for Senegal in this up-and-coming World Cup, he's going to be in a familiar environment. The World Cup is a high level of football. So Nicholas Jackson, since he plays for Bayern Munich and Chelsea, some of the best teams in the world, Nicholas Jackson is used to being at that World Cup caliber level of play. So Nicholas Jackson is going to feel very familiar, and he's going to play, hopefully, at a very high level in this up-and-coming 2026 World Cup for Senegal. Let's see. He has 3 goals for Senegal. For Chelsea, he's been in Chelsea since 2023. I mean, he's not there anymore, but he had 24 goals for Chelsea in 65 appearances. 24 goals for Chelsea, Premier League, man, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, man. So Senegal has a goal scorer in Nicholas Jackson. So, yeah. Like I said before, man, Senegal has several quality players. It's Malassar. Yeah, here he goes. Let's research him. It's Malassar, man. Sometimes, and it's Malassar, a few times, the few times that I've watched him for Senegal, and I say that lightly because I've watched him probably like several games really with Senegal, and most of the time, Ismaila Sarr has played as a winger for Senegal. Sometimes he's in that midfield. Sometimes he's just a striker for Senegal. Sometimes he's in the midfield, but for the most of the time for Senegal, he plays as a winger. And he plays for Crystal Palace, Premier League team. So Ismaila Sarr, he's used to playing, at the high level of play. And for Crystal Palace, 44 appearances, 11 goals. That's not horrible. That's not bad. But Ismaila Sarr, he has the capability to score goals. I mean, he has 18 goals scored for Senegal. Ooh, I'm tweaking. 18 goals scored. So he has the potential, to put the ball in the net. Ismaila Sarr, he's 6'1". Like I said, Senegal needs those tall players, long legs that are fast. Ismaila Sarr, he's very fast, jubilant. He's an attack-oriented player, and he likes to attack. 6'1", hey, long legs. Those are the players that Senegal needs, like I said earlier. Our best defender, Koulibaly. Let's research him. Here he goes right here, Koulibaly, our best defender. Now he plays in Saudi Arabia. He plays for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. One of the best teams in Saudi Arabia. And let me see. Let me see. I mean, he's a defender, so you already know he's not going to have a lot of goals scored. So we're not even going to look into that. Yeah, Koulibaly, he's been playing in quality leagues, quality teams throughout his career. He played for Serie A, Napoli. That's one of the best teams in the Italian league, Napoli. He played in the Premier League for Southampton, and man, so Koulibaly, he's been playing with the best in the world, in Europe. Al Hilal, Koulibaly with Al Hilal defeated last FIFA World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup. Al Hilal beat Al Hilal last FIFA Club World Cup. Al Hilal defeated Manchester City. Manchester City is supposed to be way better than Al Hilal. Manchester City is one of the top teams in the Premier League in England. So Manchester City, with all these high-level superstar players, world-class players, were supposed to defeat Al Hilal. But no, Al Hilal defeated Manchester City and eliminated Manchester City in the FIFA Club World Cup this past summer. And Koulibaly scored a goal for Al Hilal against Manchester City this game. So Koulibaly also has the ability to score. Even though he's a defender, Koulibaly, he scored a goal against Ecuador last World Cup. So Koulibaly has the ability to even score as a defender. So Koulibaly, man, he's one of the key players to Senegal. Yeah, so Koulibaly can do it all, man. Yeah, man. Senegal went undefeated. They defeated England. Let's watch some of those highlights. I had to do it. I had to do it. Let's see some of those highlights. England, Senegal versus England. Let's see. Let's see some of these highlights. Senegal versus England friendly.
We've had some fun with my name. But this election is deadly serious. That's why we've released a detailed plan to take on Trump, repeal Trump's Medicaid cuts, and stop presidents from abusing power. What Trump's done must never happen again.
All these ads, name. Hurry up, hurry up. Let's get it.
International friendly here. England take on Senegal. Teranga Lions, who will be without Sadio Mane, despite being fit. We'll have a look at the highlights here. Senegal versus England.
Towards Sarr, a little bit too high for him. Holwell was there to deal with it. Great ball in. Hit wayward from England, which has gifted possession back to Senegal. Here is Diouf. Another opportunity for Diarra to strike it.
Senegal.
He's got it at the second attempt. It's been a good start to the game, end to end. Here is Gordon. Creating their first corner of the game. Corners certainly weren't very profitable for Thomas Tuchel at the weekend. They had quite a few of them, but never looked like scoring. Declan Rice, good delivery, which is beaten away by Diatta. Further away by Njai. That is what the terrific in a game against Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League earlier in the season. Here's Jackson trying to tee the ball back up for Kamara. Space outside for Diouf. Walker comes across. It's a good cross from Diouf. It's a good header.
I told you about Sarr. Ismaila Sarr is talented, man. Number 18, Ismaila Sarr. I told you all about him.
That little ball out, he takes no chances about taking a touch. It's just in first time. Again, Diouf started really well at left back. It's almost left wing back. Decent save from Henderson. It's one he should save. And Kamara with the corner kick. Underway by Harry Kane. Beat Diarra trying to keep it alive on the edge of the penalty area, but almost snapped it. And the thing is with him as well, he's got arguably one of the best dribblers on the pitch to mark. He's playing a little bit of. He's got a terrific goal in the FA Cup. It's full. A lovely ball by Kane, which is switched out to Gordon. About that. Commit yourself as a fullback. Have to get something on the ball. Rice. Pressing on Senegalese front line again. Saka.
Man, Senegal plays quality defense. They're playing quality defense against England.
It's a good ball by Saka. Walker on the overlap on this near side with a fizzing drop.
I mean, England was attacking, but Senegal was keeping up with them well.
The officials are undecided. It's a brilliant ball in from Walker. He's got space. He takes his time. Just look, far post. Gordon gets ahead of his mark.
Man, England has some very athletic players. England has some fast players, and all the English players are like over 6 foot. They're real tall and long, and Senegal was able to keep up with them. Senegal has some speed and some size too. Well, Senegal can hang with the most athletic players.
Now he's on the search again. Keeps it alive, and he's made a silence arriving.
Sarr goal against England. Told y'all about number 18.
The first team to breach Thomas Tuchel's England are Senegal. And after 40 minutes of this match at the City Ground, I don't think England can have too many complaints. They have been warned. Well, as a defender, you've got to think the worst is going to happen. The ball is going to be kept
Let's
in.
look at the replay.
You've
The
got to be ahead of
replay.
the game. Just look at Walker. And the goal scorer, Sarr. He's goal side of him. He's got to expect the ball to come in. He just goes to sleep. Brilliant from Jackson. On a plate for Sarr. Poor from Walker. Not an awful lot Chalobah can do to stop the ball coming into the box, but he's after that. He just takes a chance. Out sprints, out thinks England's right back. Well, it came off the bench to grab the equaliser at the feet. Walker. This cross this time is deflected into the arms of Mendy. And Diarra just, look at that, just runs into the channel. Lewis Skelly's been dragged wide. If that's the case, then your midfield player's got to help him out, and neither of them get anywhere near Diarra. Is a good finish. As in, he looks like he's going to square it. Henderson comes out, and they all through the legs one. Only eyes for the goal. He's aimed for that as well. Far post through the legs. And England are behind. He's now scored in 3 of his last 4 caps as Habib Diarra. You stay close, tucked in with yourself. 4 caps as Habib Diarra. One in. He looks. Lewis Skelly's been dragged wide. This time is deflected into the arms of Mendy. And Diarra just, look at that, just runs into the channel. Lewis Skelly's been dragged wide.
Look at it, man. Accurate pass.
Then your midfield player's got to help him out, and neither of them get anywhere into the channel. The arms of Mendy.
Accurate pass. Koulibaly. Accurate
just
pass.
Runs into the channel. Lewis Skelly's been dragged wide. If that's the case, then your midfield player's got to help him out, and neither of them get anywhere near Diarra. Is a good finish. As in, he looks like he's going to square it. Henderson comes out, and they all through the legs one. Only eyes for the goal. He's aimed for that as well. Far post through the
Senegal
legs.
has skill.
And
speed.
Behind.
Perfect. Between his legs. Skill, man. Senegal has skill.
Diarra. And he enjoyed that goal.
Senegal, the first African team in history to defeat England. Senegal, the first African team to defeat England.
Midfield player should do that.
Historical win for Senegal. Huge confidence boost for Senegal. Definitely.
In that position, sometimes a midfield player can just not hide in the fact that England haven't been good enough. They've been really, really good. Here's a lovely flick to Morgan Gibbs. It's a really good
Senegal was attacking. I mean, excuse me. I mean, England was attacking. So Senegal was definitely tested in this friendly match. England was attacking. England has a lot of quality players. And Dying, I told you, look at his dribbling skill. Out dribbling 4 defenders at once. I told you about him dying.
Gibbs White back to Saka. That's brilliantly stopped. It's a lovely England move, much better. Well, England's number 7 since he come on has been involved in everything, and this is a really good save from Mendy. Saka just bends it in that corner. He's at full stretch. It just goes past the post. Fingertips. Colwell, Chalobah, both up from the back. There's a lurking on the edge of the area as the cross comes in from Madueke. To rescue England again. A goal off the bench. And an equaliser at just the right time that lifts the mood inside the City ground. Well, set piece. Just
handball. It was a handball,
though.
though.
6-yard box when he doesn't get the initial header. It's a good ball into a dangerous area, and then it's just bits and pieces. Takes a little touch. They're appealing for a handball, I think, from Bellingham. Doesn't look like it hits him anywhere near the hand. See from this off his thigh, and he's not going to miss from there. Now there is a VAR tonight. Matthew Venice, all world's action as a deliberate handball. Hang on, which Stephanie Frapp, like Levi Colwell. That's the question.
Handball, handball.
Now the referee has overturned the decision. It's no goal.
No goal.
Because
Yes, sir.
of a handball. It's green shirts everywhere. And it's a brilliant.
Look at that speed. Look at that
It's at
speed.
the end of the game, but
Dribbling
this ball,
skill.
perfect. The finish.
Passing
touch.
skill. Look at it.
And you have to say that Senegal have deserved this win. They really have.
Senegal, Senegal.
Well, it was a scenario that stemmed from dawdling over a dead ball. And then there.
Senegal get the better.
All right, you guys. Peace.